Good afternoon and welcome back to my channel here, Tyranny Therapy. This week I'm going to jump forward a couple of blogs. Due to my having a mini stroke a while back, I fell out of sync with my blogs and they were ahead of the vlogs. But this week I want to really bring to you the blog of this week's blog from my website, Tyranny Therapy. People have asked me how. I keep talking about healing past trauma memory and how easy it is. And people ask me the question, how is it so easy? They've been in therapy for years, on medication and different forms of therapy, and they're in therapy forever. And how do you do it in such a simple way? Now, I can tell you, and your therapist can tell you whether you can or can't, but really it's down to you making a decision for you. You're the only person on this earth who can heal you. It's about you making a decision, a choice. But to achieve this, there's an exercise that I'd like to introduce you to this week. Now, it's in more detail on my blog this week on my website, Tyranny Therapy. I also have it on a different platform on Tumblr, Blogger and Medium. So if you'd like to see it in more detail, please go to it there. What you're going to do is you're going to create 3 profiles. A profile for who you are today, a profile for yourself in the future in 5 or 10 years' time, and a profile of the person who suffered the event in your past. So first and foremost, you may do a profile for you in the future. So for myself, I'm 60 years of age today. So I would take maybe myself in 5 years' time. So the first profile, at the top I put down 65-year-old Richard. Now in this profile, I want to imagine what his life is like at the age of 65, free of all my troubles, just living 24 hours in the day. So I would see him as being with his wife Bo and their 2 teenage young adult children, no longer, at that time will they no longer be children, Karina and Kevin. The mother-in-law is living in the house with him and they're getting on very well. They have a good life. He's playing his golf, and I had a mini stroke a few months ago, so I'd like to see him held free of that. Right now I'm working on my diet and my fitness to be healthier, so by the age of 65 this guy has no problems with the possibility of mini strokes or strokes. He's very healthy mentally, physically, emotionally, and most of all spiritually. He's at peace in himself. He's not carrying the baggage of the past. He has this freedom to live life as an adventure at 65 years of age. He's coming up close to retirement and his life is very good. His therapy practice has taken off. His family are healthy and alive. His good relationship with his family back in Ireland and his family around the world, and his in-laws in Thailand, and his friends around the world. This is what I want to see for the 65-year-old version of myself. So you create your profile of yourself in 5 years' time, or if you're younger than me, maybe in 10 years' time. Maybe if you're 25, see yourself in 20 years' time. What you want for 45-year-old you. And put at the top 45-year-old, so it's different from you. So today I'm 60, this is for 65, accordingly. Okay? Then in that profile, you put down everything you want for that person, that future aspect of you, with the past not involved, solely his life as it is in the day at that time. Then you come back to your own profile, and for me I'm 60-year-old Richard, and I put in my profile my life today without the baggage of the past. So my life today is worried about having a mini stroke 3 months ago. It's getting my health and fitness to a better level, taking care of my wife and my children who are now teenagers, and my mother-in-law in the house. My therapy practice, I've gone out on my own in my therapy practice, and it's quite scary, and this is all new to me, producing videos and writing blogs for my website and working with clients, and it's for myself, and it's really wonderful and exciting and adventure, but also very challenging, and dealing with COVID and whether it's a conspiracy or not, and all that goes on with that, and friends I have here, and I'm involved in an awful lot of recovery fellowship groups here. I'm involved with GA and AA and Al-Anon and ACA, and I found a church here. I lost my faith for many years as a Roman Catholic, and I found it here through a Protestant church here, and I'm really delighted that I found my faith once more, and I'm a newborn Christian. Not so much that's the title, but that's how I feel in myself, and spiritually I'm in a much stronger place than I am today. I love the work of chakras and learning about energy, so I put all this down my profile. I love studying about chakras and understanding that the Holy Spirit is the energy from God, but also the Mother Earth is energy in the earth. We see plants and trees growing, and that energy we can touch into to ground, and learning about grounding and connecting these energies together. It's truly wonderful, and also being a much better husband and parent and being there for my family and this kind of stuff. And so I put this profile of myself today, what I have to do with today, forgetting all my baggage, but just as my life today is, as in a nutshell, what I have to deal with today. When I have that down on a piece of paper, then I take a third piece of paper and I write a profile for the younger aspect of me who suffered the trauma event. So for me it was 12-year-old Richard. And I start off again solely with 12-year-old Richard as he is, without any of the baggage. So for myself, my mum and dad are dead, my grandparents are dead, I live with my wife, I'm living in Thailand, a different continent to where I'm from. 12-year-old Richard's living in Ireland with his siblings. He shares a bedroom with his younger brother. His parents are alive, his grandparents are alive. It's a very family-orientated upbringing. They spend a lot of time with family, cousins, aunts, all that kind of stuff. They're very much a Christian home. They go to Mass every Sunday, follow the Christian rituals of Lent and Stations of the Cross, all that kind of stuff. Every Sunday is a family drive. The family go for a drive together. Very much family-loving, orientated. They had a pet dog called Sandy, and so on. I put down this child's life, and again, loved school. He was in the presentation college class too. He loved school. He loved all his schoolmates. He loved going to school, all that play, interaction, all that kind of stuff. And it goes through his life has been so wonderful. And then when I have all that in place, then I add in what he suffered. At the age of 12, he suffered a trauma event, and this caused him to be filled with shame, self-loathing, self-hatred, self-harm, dissociation, anxiety, depression, undiagnosed post-traumatic stress, and so on. And I list down what he suffered. And when that's finished, I come back to myself. I take a breath for a moment. If I'm find myself getting triggered, wrap your fingers together, place them over your neck and push your elbows back. And just breathe in gently into your nose. Fill your tummy like a balloon. And then exhale through your nose. And this will help you stop getting triggered. And when you feel yourself ready to come back into the room, come back into the room, and then look at yourself in the future. For me, it's 65-year-old Richard. And I know today, I don't want 65-year-old Richard to suffer my demons of today. I want him to live this life free of my demons. So I'm telling my future self, 65-year-old Richard, do not carry any of my burden. Do not try to process any of my burden. This is mine today. I don't want you touching it. I'm not asking you to touch it. I don't need you to process it. I don't want you to process it. Leave me with my stuff and go off and have your life. Have a life, have an adventure for me. I'm suffering what I'm suffering today, so you can be free to have a life beyond your wildest dreams. Please, for me, go ahead and have a life beyond your wildest dreams. And then I come back to myself and look back at 12-year-old Richard, and I see 12-year-old Richard saying to me what I said to the 65-year-old Richard. 60-year-old Richard, give me back my rubbish. Give me back my shit. It's mine. I never asked you to take it. I never wanted to take it. I didn't want two of us suffering what I suffered. I suffered this in my childhood, so you'd be free today to have a life beyond your wildest dreams. This would have floored an elephant. A lesser person would have succumbed to this, but I suffered and I came through my childhood, so you'd have a life beyond your wildest dreams. And now as a parent, you don't need to be carrying my stuff, and I never asked you to carry my stuff. So please, give me back my stuff and you go and have your life. You've got a full life. Look at your life in front of you. You've got a full life, so much on your plate. That's enough to deal with without dealing with my stuff. So please give me back my stuff. And this is the practice to realize that sadly, so many of us carry a burden that isn't ours. We carry the past into the present, causing us to endure the past in the present, causing us to endure the present and dread the future. We cannot process the past today. We can't live with the past today. It intrudes upon our life. Excuse me. We're powerless over the past, and bringing it into the present, we're unmanageable. We can't manage it. It ruins our lives. But we know now that the past aspect of ourselves never wanted us, never asked us to, and we're not doing them any favours, and we're not doing ourselves any favours by bringing it into the present. We have to find a process, a way in which we can give this baggage back to its rightful owner. In the same way we expect the 65-year-old version of ourselves to give it back to myself, the 12-year-old version of me wants me to give back all that to them so I can concentrate on my life today. And for me, I've come up with the victory principle. It's my way, I believe, that a person can do this, can safely give back this baggage, back to the past aspects, and walk away from it to live their lives today. And it's on my blog posting. Please feel free to go to my website and check it out, and maybe use it with your own therapist or with your own client, depending what the case is. But we're not meant to suffer the past in the present. The Bible tells us this. Every spiritual book tells us this. The Power of Now tells us living in the now. The manifestation, law of attraction, they all say these things. We're meant to live in the now and now only, not fear, dread of the future or fear the past, but live in the now. And the only way we can live in the now is to give away what isn't ours. Whatever our responsibility to give it away, our responsibility is just living in the day to day. Thank you very much for joining me this week.